Welcome to my series, Surviving the Larapinta Trail. This is part 4, Weathering the West Macs. The Larapinta Trail is famous for its beauty, towering ridgelines, vast desert views, and cool gorges. But it's also famous for extreme weather. Out here, the conditions can swing from blistering heat to freezing cold in the space of a few days. Knowing when to go and when not to go is one of the most important decisions a hiker can make. Today, we'll talk about why weather matters, the dangers of going at the wrong time, and how smart hikers adjust their days to walk with the conditions, not against them. Choosing the wrong time of year or being caught off guard by temperature swings, very cold nights, very hot days, violent storms, or torrential rain can become a dangerous situation very quickly. Schedule your hike to avoid summer and transitional periods between seasons when weather is more unstable and more unpredictable. The sweet spot for the Larapinta is usually late May through to the end of August. The days are cooler, the skies are clear, and the nights, while cold, are manageable with the right gear and layered clothing. In winter, the nights are cold in Central Australia. Expect 0 degrees or below, and that's in the sheltered valleys. Camping at higher elevations like Brinkley's Bluff or Counts Point, you can also be exposed to icy winds. Frost and condensation are common. Air mats with an R value of at least 4 to 5 is essential. R value is a measure of the thermal resistance, how well the mat prevents your body's heat from being sucked away into the cold ground. In winter, there will be significant radiative heat loss to the ground, another reason why a good mat and warm layers are essential. An early morning starts before sunrise may be delayed due to frozen gear or slippery slopes. At Ellery Creek North, we had icicles on the tent in early June. In summer, the desert sun is relentless. Temperatures can soar past 40 degrees, baking the red quartzite ridges. On exposed sections, there's no shade, and the heat radiates off the rocks like an oven. Hiking in these conditions isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke can happen fast. Radiation and sun exposure are also concerning. Central Australia has some of the highest UV levels in the world. Always wear long sleeves, a hat, sunglasses, and SPF 50+ sunscreen. Seasonal rainfall and water availability are also considerations. The West Macdonnell Ranges are arid. Annual rainfall is only about 250 millimetres, mostly falling during the summer storms. Winter is a dry season, and there is very little rain. So water tanks at the trailheads are your main source of water. They are regularly topped up by Parks and Wildlife, but they can run low in peak season. Make sure you always check tank levels before you set out. Carry at least 3 to 5 litres and treat any natural sources you find along the way. In early May and late August, the months sort of bordering the winter, you might get caught in an unseasonal storm. This happened to us. We had to delay our departure from Red Bank Gorge a day due to torrential rain. 40 millimetres fell overnight. We also had 10 millimetres fall on us when we came down the Mount Giles Lookout to Waterfall Gorge. Now that section is along river rocks. It made the terrain extremely dangerous and very slippery. We also didn't have a standalone tent, and we had to put up our tent on rocks in the rain. We had a wet night's sleep, but we were warm. Storms and flash flooding are also a risk in the summer months. Summer storms bring intense lightning and flash floods, especially in narrow gorges like Ormiston or Hugh Gorge. Even in the cooler months, timing your walking hours makes all the difference. Most hikers are up before dawn, packing by headlamp and on the trail by first light. This way, they cover most of the distance in the cool of the morning. By midday, when the sun is fierce and shadows disappear, they're resting in a gorge or under a tree. In the afternoon, as the sun dips, they walk the final stretch into camp. You'll also have the energy to enjoy the evenings instead of collapsing into camp exhausted. At Brinkley's Bluff, many hikers aim to arrive before midday to avoid the scorching climb under the sun where there's no shade. Those who start too late and enjoy a pancake breakfast at Standley Chasm often struggle up the switchbacks with red faces. On that final climb up to Mount Sonder, most hikers start about 2 or 3 a.m. The goal isn't just to see the sunrise, also to finish the climb before the heat of the day sets in. Watching the first light spill over the desert is unforgettable, but so is knowing you've outsmarted the sun. The winds also need to be considered. Prevailing winds are from the east to southeast in winter. Fire danger is highest in late spring, September to October. Check bushfire warnings before hiking. And just remember, open fires are banned along much of the trail. Only use fuel stoves. Ridgetop campsites like Brinkley's Bluff, Even Counts Point and Mount Sonder can experience strong gusts over 50 kilometers an hour. Secure your tents and gear and avoid camping in fully exposed areas. Try to shelter behind rocks and plan for cooler wind chill on the summits. Gorges can also funnel cold air at night, and temperatures may drop 10 degrees lower than forecast. Flexibility is the key. If it's hotter than expected, shorten your day or start earlier. If the nights are colder than forecast, make sure you wear warm, layered clothing. If strong winds roll in, camp lower in the valleys instead of higher on exposed ridges. The Larapinta doesn't reward stubbornness, it rewards adaptation. The weather on the Larapinta Trail is all part of the adventure, but it teaches respect for the desert, for timing, and for preparation. Don't go when it's too hot, don't underestimate the cold, and walk with the rhythm of the day. Do that, and the trail will give you its best. Golden sunrises, cool starry nights, and the kind of clarity you can only find in the desert.